California, the largest discussion of California independent supporters or allies of that discussion, and where we always say, this is the most important discussion Californians can have. Recently, Yes California just finished up our recall candidates debates. We had the largest one ever hosted by anyone in California. We've had about 25% of all declared candidates for the recall election in the Yes California series of debates. We had about 1/4 of all of the final ballot candidates also appear in this weekend's debate. And so we're averaging at about 25% of all declared candidates and all the ones that will finally appear. We've hosted more debates with more candidates than anyone in California on this recall election by far, news, universities, etc. Yes, California's made inroads with about 30 different people we've never met before who now respect the Yes California brand and name as seeing it as professional. We also got a candidate of ours to talk about secession and independence on Cal Matters twice, which is the top California policy journal. So that promoted the Yes California brand in the top policy magazines. We've got through to 30 candidates, 25% of the list. We've been mentioned by multiple articles hosting these debates. We've had candidates mention our debates to the LA Times, and we have good connections with one of the top Republicans, the top Democrat, Joel Ventresca, the top Green Party, Dan Kapelovitz, and the top Solidarity Party, James Hannick, represented in our debates. So more debates, more parties, more connections, more than anybody. Yes, California is basically going gangbusters right now. The recall debate was wildly successful, raised our profile and let many new people know who we were, created all sorts of new connections, and got us massively into the media. We'll be hosting another debate either this weekend or the following weekend. We're trying to get Katie Grimes, the editor of California Globe, to co-host. Last weekend, we had Tom Elias. Tom Elias is the reporter who started the 2003 recall election. And he hosted a debate with the top representatives of 4 different political parties. Nobody's done anything close in California, just Yes California. Very pleased to do that. We will be hosting another one. Steve Chavez Lodge was not able to make it. Kevin Paffrath backed out at the last minute. So we'd like to have them on. We'll try to have a future debate with Katie Grimes, and we'll go from there. I saw Robert and Jason were here for a second. Robert, Jason, if you're there, please come on back, and we'll get going. So anyways, wild success with that, wild success with hosting a candidate. We got the idea of secession into the top policy magazine, and we've had our candidate, Louis Marinelli, debate at least 4 or 5 of the other candidates. So Louis has debated a Republican candidate, the top Green Party candidate, the top Solidarity Party candidate, and a few other candidates on independence. So as these people made the ballot and they're talked about, people are going to look at videos of them speaking, and they're going to see them speaking about California independence. Now, they didn't come out for it, but our whole point of this organization was to raise the profile of the conversation and to raise the profile of the brand as being the major force for the conversation. We did it. I mean, we got that conversation in the top policy journals. We got 30 candidates talking about this. We have 4 different political parties knowing who we are. We did it. We're also going to be moving on to creating a non-fungible token. We want to be one of the few activist organizations to actually have a crypto, I got to say this right, an NFT. It's a non-fungible token. It'll be called the Calexit. We already had the graphic design by Louis. We had Jason Wright design the biography. It's a little bit weird. Robert, your device is not connecting, and Jason, please come on back. Something up with that link. It took me to an empty yard. I'm in. Okay, give me a second. There's some tech issue here. Can't join StreamYard. It took me to, yeah, same here. The link has a typo or something. Okay, give me 1 second to work this out. Okay, so what is here? Let's just do this. Share, invite, copy, copied. Here, new YouTube, StreamYard. Okay, 1 second. We're having some tech issues. Just a second. Technical difficulties. No? Okay, to everybody there, I see that you're saying you're having some difficulty clicking the link. I reposted the link in the What's Up chat. I will also re-email the link. Give me a second to do that. Okay, to anybody watching, the link has been re-emailed to Robert Stark. The link has also been reposted to WhatsApp. When I click the link from my phone on WhatsApp, it seems to work. So if there's people having difficulty joining with the new link, I'm not sure what to do. It seems to work on my end. I don't know what to say. John, were you able to use the link successfully to join?
Yeah, looks like it's working on my end for now.
Okay, there's Robert. Let's get these comments. I have been something up with the link. I was hanging out. Good job. Yes, Jason, there, try the link again. Okay, there we go. We got a link that's working. Great. Okay, everything's back to normal. Blah, 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 blah. This is the Yes California Calexit Congress meeting. Most important conversation we're going to have. I'm sorry, yesterday was a big, big day, and my brain's pretty much still fried out from it. So I'm going to do the best I can. It's not always Captain Commander every day. So I'm a human being. Anyways, I'm not going to redo the whole thing, but wildly successful with the recall candidate debates. We've made contacts with 30 people, 25% of the candidates, gotten Cal Matters multiple times, raised the profile of independence, talked to the top parties, candidates on multiple different parties. Big, 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 wild success. Got a lot of people known about Yes California. Made a lot of colleagues. Got in the top policy journals. Mike says yesterday went great. Thank you, Mike. Did anybody see the recall debate yesterday? And would you like to say a few things about it? Anybody who saw the recall debate yesterday? Anybody like to say something about it? Jason? Okay, private chat. I saw both. Well done. Well,
yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but I saw the debate. For some reason, my audio just stopped. So if you can hear me, awesome. I can't hear you anymore, but I heard you ask who saw the debate. What do you think? I loved it. I thought it was one of our most professional so far to date. I also thought that, you know, the way that the candidates interacted with each other, with you, even a little bit with the audience. Okay, nice. I thought that it was actually really awesome because, you know, a lot of the time people think that if you're in politics, you have to, you know, throw low blows and get dirty and talk shady and do all sorts of scandalous stuff, you know, to win. And yeah, it kind of disproved all of that yesterday. And, you know, I think all of our debates have kind of, you know, helped to disprove that. But, you know, yesterday was possibly one of the most diverse as far as political spectrum, one of the most diverse debates that we've had, I think. And yeah, it was friendly, it was intelligent, it was educational, informative, right? It was everything we wanted it to be. So yeah, I thought you did a great job, Marcus.
I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the debate. Here it is. So that is Tom Elias, Dan Kapelovitz, the top Green Party candidate, top Republican Party candidate, another up-and-coming contender, social media influencer, top Solidarity Party candidate, and top Green Party candidate, and one of the top 4 Republicans. So the guy who started the 2003 recall, social media influencer, and then these people are the top candidates of 4 different political parties, all there for the debate. Wow, 391 views. I did not know that. Damn. Daniel Curry is also an up-and-coming guy. Really, really good show. Went so well. And now that it's done, I will tell everybody I was terrified. I was pretty scared. I was like, oh, there's a lot on this. There's a lot of people watching, and I screw this up. Ugh. So let me get this up there for everybody to see. I posted in a private chat. Here's the YouTube link. You also have it in private chat. It's also been posted in comments. So if you're in the comments, you can watch it. We posted it so everybody can see that. Mike says, no reason to be nervous. Just do the same thing you're doing. I appreciate that, Mike. I really appreciate that. It's just we had Elias there, right? Like that guy's, he's a real life reporter. And then we had 4 different party candidates and a former Congress member. I was like, oh, this is real. This is real, Like you screw this up, people will notice. But if you do it right, it looks great. So wild success. Wild success. We're also working with Dewank Mahajan on an NFT, the Calexit coin that'll be coming out soon. We are also working on the Calexit courses online certification. That took a little bit of a back burner so that we could focus on the recall election, but the recall election debates are starting to wind down, although we expect to continue to have them up into the election. So we're debating right now if we have another recall debate this following up weekend, or if we push it out 2 weeks and have it in August, just to make it a little bit more special. So if anybody has any comments on that, or if you saw anything on the debate that you thought we could do better or you didn't like, please comment. So you can post it in comments, you can post it in chat, whatever. Anything you liked in the debate that you saw, anything you did not like, please let me know. Please post and comment, or speak up and say something now. Really want the feedback. And as you know, I love it when people are blunt and call us out. So if we didn't get something right, please just tell us. I would rather hear it from colleagues way early than, we're doing a second debate and I got a booger hanging out and nobody told me. Maybe that's a gross analogy, but you get the idea. So if anybody's noticing anything, don't hold your tongue. Please let us know. Doesn't mean I'll agree with you, but I'd rather know. Anyways, great success. We're going to keep going. NFTs coming, courses are coming. We'll also have another mass email coming out. The mass email is going to be coming out. It will be announcing that, yes, California was the only organization to meet with the Texas Nationalist Group. And so that was shepherded by Rabbi Axelman and the Liberty Bloc. If it wasn't for Liberty Bloc, and especially the rabbi, the 2 largest secessionist movements in America never would have met. That's right. If it wasn't for one man, one lone rabbi with a mission, brought together the 2 largest independence movements in America, Texas and California. And what's interesting about that is there's a lot of talk about, there's a poll on secession that came out recently. It's all over the news. And it's got the Texas secession movement all discussed. But nobody's talking about how, well, the largest 2 secession movements just met and agreed on video that America is not becoming unified, and peaceful divorce is probably the best option. We like seeing politicians too, Devil War. Rabbi, you deserve the recognition. Again, I'll make this clear. This is a recorded broadcast. It's going out to the world. The Texas Nationalist Movement and the Yes California Independence Movement, the largest progressive movement and the largest conservative movement, 2 most likely places to secede, met for the first time ever. Dialogue directly with we've met before, but we dialogued with each other, specifically organization to organization. And we agreed America is not pursuing unity, and it's not going to. That's never happened before. That dialogue's never happened before. That recognition of the future of the USA and the political climate we face has never happened before. And it's because of Liberty Bloc, but really the chutzpah of Rabbi Stephen Axelman. And yes, California is permanently in gratitude to him for that. We're going to get to a little bit of my favorite topic today, which is, why are we here? What's the point of all this? So let's get right to it. Okay, here we go. I hope everyone can see this email. First thing I wanted to do was, so here's the new evidence of why we're here. I'm just going to go in order. Okay, so I'm not sure how legitimate this is. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Supposedly, there is this cartoon in the Washington Post. Now, I tried to find this looking for Yugoslavia cartoon in Washington Post. I could not find it. So maybe this isn't a real source. Maybe this isn't a real story. I don't know. But if it is, there's a lot of people talking about how Washington Post made this cartoon comparing America to Yugoslavia, the country that broke up into 2 million pieces. I'll also point out, if you look closely, you can see this dashed line that goes up to here and this light shading area. This is basically the outline of California. I mean, as far as the population goes, we get a little bit of Arizona here, and we lose a little bit of California up here, but this line is roughly California in a map from Yugoslavia, supposedly in the Washington Post on Sunday, called Yugoslavia. So if anybody can find the link to that, kind of interesting that Washington Post is talking about the partition of America based upon a country that's split into 1 million pieces, and that it has a clear outline of one whole section for California alone, whatever that means. So let's go to, forgive me again. And as predicted months ago by Yes California, the honeymoon for Joe Biden would end, and people would realize that, in fact, all the horrible stuff that Trump was doing was what America wanted. It wasn't just Trump. It was like, that's America. Kids in cages, looking the other way at human rights abuses from totalitarian states because they're allied with America, not moving on climate change, being soft with the oil giants, making sure that immigrants aren't allowed in, intimidating immigrants from coming to the country. Yeah, Joe Biden's doing all the same stuff that Trump has done. We have covered that every week since it first started happening months ago. And everybody said, well, give Joe a chance. It'll work out. His approval rating is now 50%. We predicted around this time the honeymoon would be over, about 3 months. Here it is. People are holding him to account. His approval rating is now 52%. Let's get into a little bit of the meat. Yeah, his presidential approval rating has dropped to 50%, down from 56%. 45% of respondents disapproved of Joe Biden's job performance. Again, forgive me, yesterday was intense. Anyways, he's doing poorly because they're not sure that America can be fixed. Let's take another example of what's going on. Why would people be saying that?
Marcus, isn't
Yes.
that 6%? Isn't that kind of what he won the election by? Isn't that like the difference? Like, you know, he won by like 6% or so, 6 to 8%, something like that. So it seems
That's right.
like maybe the people who came around to the Biden-Harris team towards the end game and managed to vote for him and get him in office, right? Seems like maybe they're starting to regret that decision.
Biden beat Donald Trump by about 6 points, right? Trump was around 47%, Biden was around 52%, and they called it a majority of America. It was only majority by 2 percentage points, but he only beat Trump by about 5 to 6. So good observation, Jason. Yeah. The difference between him and Trump, he has now lost equivalently. Whatever that says.
In the next presidential election, when it's Biden versus Trump again, I think we know who's gonna win.
Uh, well, this may be, yeah. So this came out in March. It's the Pew Research Center. Biden viewed positively on many issues, but public has less confidence that he can unify the country. So we're looking at a poll now in July. This was in March. So March, April, May, June, July. So this is 3 months ago. And people were saying, wow, we thought Joe Biden was going to unify America, and it seems like he's not. Majority of Americans express confidence in Biden across multiple areas, except on unifying the country. So bring the country together, 52% said no, 48% said maybe. So he's doing well on all these measures except unifying the country. That was 3 months ago. Things have gotten worse. America has not become unified, and now people are dropping his approval rating. And that's probably because he said, I'm going to unify America. The guy literally said, when he's elected, there will be a calming effect on America, and people will realize Trump was wrong and come around. That didn't happen. He was dead wrong. Maybe voters are starting to realize that all that stuff you believed in Biden, it ain't happening.
Well, and I'd like to point out that when he says something to the effect of, like what you said, vote me in, you're going to see that Trump's stuff was wrong, my stuff is right, we're going to get back to decency. When he says that, yet doesn't go around and undo the things that Trump did, doesn't go about like trying to actually, get rid of all of these air quotes bad things, right? I mean, he labels them as bad, but then he won't get rid of them. It kind of says, yeah, I want you to vote for me. I'll tell you whatever you want to hear or whatever I think you want to hear in order for me to get in office. And then once I get in, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You're going to sit down and shut up and like it, which is pretty much what he told the Congressional Black Caucus, right?
Yeah. Yes. That's literally what he told the top civil rights leaders who were like, I think 90% African Americans, the first week that he was elected before he assumed the presidency. He said, quotes, I'm that white boy, quotes, and if you don't like what I'm doing, quote, to hell with you, quote. Said that to the top African American civil rights leaders in America, live on video, barely covered by the news. So what do we expect? And also, what do we expect that people are coming to the realization now when if you tried to find that video of Joe Biden saying that, you couldn't. I had to go to the original source, clip it out, and post it on YouTube so people would believe me. No one, literally no one in the news covers that he said those things on video when it's there. So whatever that means, I don't know why the news can't do their job. I don't know why you can't talk about how the president told the top African-American people in America, consider me, quotes, that white boy, and quotes, to hell with you. I don't know why the news can't cover that. It's there. It was in the video. We covered it. I'm not sure why no one in the United States of America, including all progressive media, could somehow not point that out when it was there. I don't know how those things happen. Devil War. If you want to join the Calexit Congress, it's really easy. You go to marcus.ruiz.evans@gmail.com. If anybody wants to join the Calexit Congress, we want you to join. You have to be a Californian or you have to love California. You can email me at marcus.ruiz.evans@gmail.com to join. Yeah, Jason, I think you're right. Oh, we got another join. Okay. DeWonk, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Oh, great, great. DeWonk is here for our NFT discussion. DeWonk, let me get through like 2 more articles, and then we're going to go right to you and talk about NFT, sir.
Sure, big brother.
Okay, all right. So just to get through a few more articles, and the reason we do this is because we're trying to show why are we even having this conversation. You know, people are like, oh, you're talking about independence of America. That's crazy. Okay, well, here's a majority of Americans saying they don't think America is going to come together. Here's half of America saying they don't think America is going to come together, and that's why they dropped Biden's approval rating, which is what we said. And then here's this. This is one of my favorite things. This is the Atlantic magazine, a major policy magazine. This is a serious policy magazine. David Frum is a serious policy magazine writer. Okay, not wishy-washy people, serious writers. They're talking about how some people believe in vaccines and some don't, and half the country doesn't really want to get vaccines. To which David Frum, a serious writer in the Atlantic, a serious magazine, says this: as cases uptick again, as people who have done the right thing face the consequences of other people doing the wrong thing, the question occurs, does Biden's America have a breaking point? Biden's America produces 70% of the country's wealth and then sees that wealth transferred to support Trump's America, which is fine. That's what citizens of one nation do for another. Something else they do for another, take rational health care precautions. That reciprocal part of the bargain is not being upheld. So, does America have a breaking point? I didn't make him say that. That's a top reporter in the top magazine this week, saying the other half of America doesn't do their civic duty. So why do we see them as equal citizens? Yes, they said that. And yes, that was this week in a top policy magazine by a top writer. We have no connection to David Frum or the Atlantic. Why are they talking about how America is not coming together and how progressive states like California don't share values with a lot of the mid part of America, and yet we're a donor state and have to financially support them? Why is David Frum talking about that in this magazine this week, when that's something we've said for years? In fact, we brought this up right at the beginning of the pandemic. We said, look, these people, the Americans in the Midwest, aren't going to have the same precautions we will have here in California. Why don't we seal the borders? Also, why are we sending them money when they're endangering us? We said that months ago. That's extreme. Why is the Atlantic with David Frum suggesting the same thing now when we suggested it months ago? It's almost like we were correct. We were just saying it when everybody was scared to say it. I don't know. No unity, popularity going down, and here we go. So I want to point out these are reputable sources. This is not Tucker Carlson. Okay, these are the top references in the world. America is exceptional in its political divide. The pandemic has revealed how pervasive the divide in American politics is relative to other nations. So a lot of people go, oh, January 6th wasn't a coup and everybody has tough times. Well, this is the Pew survey. It's a globally recognized survey with experts of countries all over. And here's what they said. The 2020 pandemic has revealed how pervasive the divide in American politics is relative to other nations. Over the summer, 76% of Republicans, including independents who lean to the party, felt the U.S. had done a good job in dealing with the coronavirus outbreak, compared with just 29% of those who do not identify with the Republican Party. This 47 percentage point gap was the largest gap found between those who supported the governing party and those who do not have access across 14 modern nations. Moreover, 77% of Americans said the country was now more divided than the outbreak, as compared with the median of 47% in 13 other nations. So, largest division of all modern nations in the world, and largest percentage of people of that country saying they're divided than essentially all modern nations in the world. That's from the Pew, and it came out in March. This is why we have these shows, because I'm just guessing, but I bet the mainstream media never covered any of this, never told you about any of this, and certainly never put it all together in a cohesive storyline where you can see America's falling apart. There is no unity. The promises fell flat, and people are starting to recognize it with Biden. And yes, things in America are really, really bad, and no, it's not just hyperbole. When you look at other nations that have turned into civil war, America's right up at there at the top with the trends that are following right now. Okay, let's get to a couple comments. DeWonk, I'm going to go to you, brother. Maybe you could walk us through the Calexit coin, and we'll start talking about that. Is that cool, brother? DeWonk? Oh, I think he froze. Oh, DeWonk. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Here's DeWonk Mahajan, and we're going to talk about the Calexit non-fungible token. I'm going to leave it to DeWonk. There's Jason. Jason has also been following this along. Jason, please chime in with DeWonk.
Yeah,
DeWonk, tell us what's up.
everything is great over here, and I am also planning to come to US next month. And for the NFT, we are totally ready with all the stuff that we need. We are have our cryptocurrency. We have our image that is verified and submitted to me by you as the final touch up, like a Calexit coin that we will be using as an NFT. The main purpose of using this as an NFT is to raise funds for our community and for our organization. In the future, things will be getting more volatile. People will be looking out to different forms of currencies like cryptocurrencies, NFTs, and dollars as the basic for basically as an exchange of medium for buying some services or selling some services, right? There are many companies in California like Coinbase and other tech companies which are very much activated in the cryptocurrency market and have been raising a lot of funds in this domain. So my idea was to create a NFT for a NFT with a target volume of at least 1,000 tokens. Okay, we will be having a coin in the name of Yes California as a Calexit coin, and that will be an NFT, right? We will be marketing it at a budget what the party decides, right? And we will be having at most 1,000 quantity, at least 1,000 quantities, and at most 2,000 quantities. And the minimum price for which this NFT is priced, we will be raising it with time. Like the circulation of these 2,000 NFT depends all on Yes California organization, as well the people who are having these in their accounts or in their NFT accounts or their cryptocurrency accounts. And with the time, the value of cryptocurrency has increased to a hell high, right? Same is the case for the NFT industry. Like if you buy this for $100 and no one from the US California is going to sell it for 100 or $200 to anyone, we will market it for $1,000 after an year. The price of this NFT automatically becomes $1,000 because it is not ready to be sold at a lower price, right? So this is the way how cryptocurrency and NFT tokens are gaining so much influence in the market. We have a basic idea to go out with just one variant for our NFT, but in future this project will evolve, and when we will be working on our blockchain, we will be able to mine tokens that we will be able to sell out to the people, so that in future that can be used as a currency. This is the basic concept for having an NFT or a cryptocurrency, or imbibing facts, like indulging with the technology, if I say like that. That's it, bro.
Okay. Uh, Jason, can you jump in and say a few things, building on what DeWonk says about what this is and et cetera, just so that people thoroughly understand. You and DeWonk really, you understand this very well, DeWonk. Jason, you understand this pretty good too. I just want to make sure everybody else is at that level. So, Jason, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, sure. I mean, DeWonk really, brother, you hit that nail right on the head, my brother. Yeah, that was perfect. Yeah, there will be about what is it, 1,000 to 100,000 of
Yeah,
the, or
100,000.
yeah, one to 100,000 of the NFT will be made. It's backed by Ethereum. I guess it's going to be the new Ethereum. I guess old Ethereum and new Ethereum are two different things, and the old one kind of tanked or something. I'm not entirely familiar with that. I just know that new Ethereum is what we're on. These non-fungible tokens, NFTs, can be purchased by folks anywhere in the world who wish to see Yes California's Calexit movement and the Calexit Congress get bigger and better, and maybe have a little bit of funding to work with. I'd like to point out pretty much everything that we do on the lowest slash non-existent budget. Yes, California has not really ever had a whole lot of money to work with. This is one of those things that would allow us to have enough funding to really pursue at least one big idea and a couple of little projects, or a whole bunch of little projects. It basically can help us to increase our output in our efforts.
Yeah, so the Calexit coin is going to be the newest thing. It'll be a non-fungible token, which is a not technically currency. It's a image. It is not a currency, but it gets us in the game, and we'll move forward. DeWonk Mahajan was somebody from India who had heard about the Calexit movement globally, and talked to us from India. And I just love the fact that we're working together across continents. We have members in Russia. We have members in India. We had a member also in China. We're very international. We love working with people around the world because that's what Californians do. And we're pleased. DeWonk's also going to be coming, and his cousin's also going to be coming, and they both get a free cup of coffee on behalf of Yes California at any California university when they arrive, guaranteed. So we'll have this NFT. We're going to use cryptocurrency to fund. Hey, Julina. Jelena Costa joined us. Very cool with the poem. Jelena, we'll talk about some projects with the Thule Elk in a few minutes. We're talking about the Calexit NFT non-fungible token. DeWonk Mahajan is a data programmer out of India. He'll be helping us. We will be using Ethereum to fund it and create 1,000 to 100,000 NFTs that will be sold for roughly $100 each. We already have the Ethereum fuel. We have the graphic for the coin, and DeWonk's basically taken it all the way up to where we're really close to launch. So this will be coming very shortly. DeWonk, what are the next steps that we need to do? And we're going to try to work on those today.
Yeah, today what I am planning is, we are all ready with the NFT marketplace. We have our account set up there in the name of Yes California. We will be connecting our business accounts today, online PayPal, online NFT to direct business accounts, so that if anyone purchases something, the money comes.
Let's just give it a second. So So Dewank's in India, and they're having some internet issues. There's kind of a crackdown, so we'll have to bear with them. Anyways, we're working on the NFT today. Any comments on the NFT? I'm going to try to find the graphic real quick that we're going to use to showcase this.
Yeah, that was going to be my comment. Was can we see the graphic?
Yeah. So 1 second.
Also, while we have a second, Julina, tons of love. Glad to see you. She says she's driving, so she's just listening in case you can.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
There's Dewank.
No matter what, always glad to have you in here with us, Julina.
I had some problem with my internet connection. That's why I have, yeah. So what I was saying was, we will finalize our, bank accounts of Yes California with the variable, the marketplace where the NFT will be available for sale. People will be able to buy NFT using the dollars from their bank accounts or any kind of cryptocurrency that is available in the market, either Bitcoin or Ethereum. There are other variants of cryptocurrency like Ethereum Classic, Ethereum Gold. Any kind of cryptocurrency can be used to buy our NFT for Calexit coin, right? And this is really going to be very hot in the tech market when the news is come out, like there is a California succession movement and a coin in the name is coming out. It will be a kind of a meme strategy. The thing how it went for dog coin, Shiba Inu, and there are many cryptocurrencies. Same image, same hype. There is a chance we can have that hype. We can also ride along the wave that cryptocurrency is creating for every industry right now. And today we will be finalizing and linking the cryptocurrency with the Ethereum. It means that we will be backing our NFT with the Ethereum today, and within it will take around 1 day to 2 days to get all the confirmations and the details that we have done everything successfully, right? So this was all. The next strategy will be to sell it at the best prices and stop the circulation so that the price can exponentially rise for this token. If we will have 100,000 of dollars, Marcus, if your company is having 100,000 tokens and you will be able to sell around 10,000 or 20,000 tokens, right? Or 50,000 tokens, the rest they will be blocked with Yes California organization. No one has the authority to mingle with the database, not even the organization, because it will be very secure and will be monitored through a blockchain. So this was my whole idea for backing up our Calexit coin with blockchain technology and with further advances and checking out the response and the data of our buyers and interactors. We will be able to do much more things in future. It's just an opportunity at first. So this was all my day.
Dewank has been the driver in this car. He's been pushing this forward. He had this idea. Now, there were other people at Yes California saying, wow, NFTs, that's cool. So other people were talking about this, but Dewank was the guy that goes, I have a vision. And he proposed it to Congress, and we went with it, which is how we do things here. We're about doing things. We're not about, and we like to have debates and discussions, and we believe, have your talk and make sure all the points out, but get something done. So when we looked into this and it could be done, and we finally got the pricing down to something we could afford, and then we said, Dewank, why don't you tell us what it should be, and we'll follow along. And that's brought us all sorts of wonderful success. So if you have a dream, you have a vision, you want to work with Yes California, we get things done. Partners work out with us. We just showed you how we are working with 4 different political parties, and 25% of all registered candidates for the recall election. And here we are, working with another guy in a continent and another guy in another continent and getting things done. That's what we do. So very pleased. Let me show you guys all something real quick. 1 second. Okay. So this is going to be the graphic that we're going to use at Yes California to promote the NFT so that you can all see this is the graphic. This is not the actual NFT. This is not the NFT. This is just a graphic, just to let you know we have the graphic made up. This is what the NFT should look like. So you are getting the first glimpse of anyone, anywhere, of what the Calexit NFT is going to look like. This is a little bit blown up. So this is the image of California. This right here, this YES is Yes California's brand. So yes, with the California image that doesn't appear anywhere else. We're
Marcus,
taking, yes.
I'm just seeing the mirror screen.
Ah, okay. Well, thanks for letting me know. Let's try that again. Can people see this graphic? Should be a blue circle.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the graphic for the Calexit NFT. This is not the NFT. This is not the NFT. This is only a graphic for the NFT. But it's a graphic we have ready to go. You already saw some of the text from the bio or the write-up of this NFT. We've been posting that in the video stream. So we already have roughly the description ready to go. We have the graphic ready to go. So I'm trying to show you. Let me show you one more thing. This is the NFT graphic. Can everyone see that? It should be a Yes California logo, blue circle.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the classic Yes logo, the California state forming the Y, and then EES. This California was added on. It's not exactly the same font style as this, but it was to make it clear that this was Yes California, the Calexit campaign for independence. So Yes California is our name, hashtag Calexit and California campaign for independence. Sorry, that recall debate. Wow, fried my brain. These are all the words and slogans that we use to associate our brand, and here they are in a coin. So that's what the NFT is going to look like, and you just saw the logo we will be using to advertise it, and you can see that we already have some of the write-up done for how this will appear. So we're coming together, and the final part is going to be to make the coin with Dewonk. Devil War, we're loyal to California also here, brother. And there's people in other continents who are too. That's how big Calexit is. Okay, we lost Dewonk. I'm sure he'll come back in. He has some internet stuff. Is there any questions on the NFT? I'm going to give it a second. Okay, 1 second, private chat. Viva todos Californios. Well said, Jason. Here, we'll post that. Jason says, Viva todos los Californios. Yeah, in multiple continents. Okay, if that's that, then give me a second. I'm going to pull up a video I'd like y'all to see. Give me 1 second to try to find this. Okay. I'm sorry, bear with me for a moment. I'm trying to find the video of the Pomo that we did, and it's going to take me a minute. We did this great meeting with the Pomo where we talked about. There it is. Okay. So let me show you guys this. Julina's here, but she's in her car, so she won't necessarily be able to participate. But I want to walk you through a very important project we did, super proud of, and that we're committed to continuing. Okay, so can everybody see the YouTube video, Pomo Country Elk Management Plan?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this was a meeting we had with Yes California, people putting together information, largely Jason Wright, but others putting together information at the request of the Pomo Indigenous Nation from Mendocino County. The Pomo people in Mendocino County, that's largely their traditional territory, but not exclusively all of it, had the Tule elk as a animal that lived in the area. They had strong cultural connections to it. They also lived off the animal. You know, they ate every part of it, used all of its body for all sorts of goods, and it had a big impact on their diet and their way of life, and just a cultural connection, the way Americans look at the bald eagle. And so what happened was there was a genocide, and the people were pushed out of power. And so what we did was we took a lot of the wildlife management, the California Department of Fish and Game, federal regulations, state codes. We looked at everything having to do with the law in California regarding raising Tule elk. The Pomo had one question. Can we, the Pomo, raise Tule elk like the California Department of Fish and Game? California Department of Fish and Game, or the Federal Wildlife Department, gets to raise Tule elk in these areas that you see with the orange, right? So let me see if I can make this bigger. Yeah, so these areas are the Tule elk range. This is the Pomo indigenous area. This map came from Wikipedia. The Pomo said this map is not accurate. I get that. We've asked for a more accurate map from the Pomo, but this is roughly the best that we can have, and this roughly shows their land. I'm sure the configuration is different. We are waiting for a more accurate map from the Pomo, and we will display that. But this is what's available. Here's their traditional land. We mapped their traditional land over the existence of the Tule elk. And then we walked them through. Here's their Pomo land. Here's the historical range of the Tule elk. Here's the Tule elk current range that partly goes on their land. And then here's the historic section of Pomo land within the historic range of the Tule elk with no Tule elk. So our research basically found that the Pomo had a really good case for making this area here their land without Tule elk to have Tule elk because it was in the traditional range. And so we basically put this together. It was largely a series of maps where we just walked them through. Here's the administration and the government and the things you're going to have to deal with if you want to have a Tule elk area where you manage Tule elk. Then we walk them through the California codes section by section. So they learned every single law that they have to deal with. We walked them through all of the government documents that had to do with the Tule elk, step by step, until they had everything they needed to make an informed decision. Sorry, this goes on. Here we go. And then, so lots of data, lots of information, walked them through the whole thing. There was about 5 or 6 Pomo there at that time. Julina was there. And just to be clear, like the rabbi, if Julina wasn't there, never would have happened. Never would have had a meeting, never would have been able to meet Pomo, never would have had Pomo come together. And the idea was Julina's. I mean, I was talking with her on the phone and we were talking about, yeah, Julina says there's another map of Pomo territories that she'll send this week. Julina set up the meeting. Julina made the connections. Julina brought everyone together, and it was Julina's idea that the Pomo might want to have the Tule elk return to their area. So what we did was say, look, you have to get your people together and get them interested. And then, yes, California is good at organizing information. We will put together a bunch of data and then present it to you at any time that's available for you. So you pick the day, you pick the time, you get the people there. We'll have an awesome presentation that literally tells you every single bit and crook and cranny of the law that you would need to know to be able to manage tule elk on your land. And we did it. I mean, if you watch that video, we did it. We walked them through everything. And many of them said, you know, we've never seen this before. We've never had this much information. Nobody's ever put it together like that. And the officials in the land don't walk them through or explain things to them. So this was the first time, from our knowledge, that the Pomo Indigenous or any group of them had somebody walk them through what the land laws are. These are California citizens. These are American citizens. And basically, nobody had ever told them what the laws were on their land regarding an animal that they view as essential to their culture. So Yes, California was the first organization ever, to my knowledge, to walk a group of Pomo through. Here's all of the regulations from every last source, every last detail that you would need to know if you wanted to have tule elk on their land. As I told Julina, that's not going to fix the situation. You know, it doesn't pay back genocide. It doesn't bring everybody back. It doesn't restore all the land to tule control, but it puts the Pomo in a position of power where now they actually know what the law is, and now they actually know what the rules are, and they didn't know that. And I got to tell you, it was massively wonderful to be there and see a group of people and their eyes just got big. Like, no, this isn't going to fix everything, but we've never even been at this plateau. Like, nobody in California took the time to let us know what the laws are so we could do what we want on our land. That was just Yes, California did it, and we were proud to do it. I've also offered to Jelena that any day, any time she's able to get more Pomo, we will keep having that presentation, and that we are dedicated to researching any additional topics they would want. So that is a commitment from Yes, California to the Pomo Indigenous. We will meet with you. You get people together, you book the date and time, we'll have that meeting, and we will go over this information as many times as you want. And we are committed to researching any additional information that you ask for. We view this as a long-term partnership. We think that you should have the tule elk, or you should make the decision to not have them. But you should make that decision, not you've never been empowered or had the ability to understand how to use the law. That's wrong, and it's certainly not okay. California is an awesome place. We did commit a genocide. We have to pay back for that, or we at least have to do as much as possible. Yes, California got started with this with the 2017 proposal to return all federal land to the indigenous. We did that largely to start a discussion and say, look, there's a genocide. You know, we haven't really tried to pay these people back. We need to do a whole lot more and take it as far as possible. We got a lot of credibility for that, a lot of angry people, but we stuck with it. We were able to launch an organization called Return California. They had like 10 different listening sessions with indigenous tribes around California who all said, yes, we would like to have federal land returned to us. When the LA Times editorial board and the San Francisco Chronicle editorial board said that indigenous people don't want their land back, and nobody should listen to Yes about the idea of returning the land back, because if indigenous people wanted their land back, they would have already asked. Yes, the LA Times editorial board said that in 2017. Indigenous people don't really need their land back, and if they do, they would have already asked, and that's why they don't have their land back. You know, when we ran that concept past many indigenous people, they go, that's total trash and garbage. Who said that? And I go, the editorial board of the Los Angeles Times. Were you interviewed when they said that statement? No, you weren't. That's called institutional racism. I am proud that Yes, California highlighted it and is fighting it and is standing with the people on the ground. We get all sorts of trash talk because we understand economics and we occasionally sound like Republicans and we dress well and try to look professional. And then people say, well, your corporate image and your Republican talking points mean you don't care. Really? That's why we went to the most Black Lives Matter movement rallies out of any Calexit organization. That's why we're working with the Pomo to educate them. That's why we're working with Indian people in other countries to make cryptocurrency. I mean, we're activists. Don't let the smooth exterior fool you. We're about the people, and we're about disenfranchised people being brought up. And we show it with our projects, not with our look. So, proud to do this. No one else is doing this. We're proud to do it. Julina, we're permanently in debt to your leadership, and we'll keep going from there. So we lost a wonk. We're at 12:05. I'd like to wrap it up in the next 20 minutes. So let's go around the room. Does anybody have anything they'd like to cover? And we'll cover it and talk about it right now. I want to go to the rabbi first because he's awesome. Rabbi Axelman, is there anything you want to cover, talk about? You like the group to talk about?
Nope, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks again for putting us together. Wow. Really, really appreciate it. Okay. John Bowman, anything you want to discuss, sir? Don't have to, but I want to make sure everybody gets a chance.
No, I'm good. Not at the moment that I can think of.
All right. Well, the Calexit Congress is your Congress, and you get to speak anytime you want and say anything you want, and we have to discuss it. Doesn't mean we necessarily have to agree with your ideas, brother, but you have the right to discuss them and go, hey, I want to talk about puppies and how that helps California independence. I don't see the connection, but we would have to entertain that. So I want you all to know this is your group. Robert Stark, anything you want to cover, brother, at all?
No, not really. I'm good.
Are you sure? You always got ideas. Okay. All right. We will not be discussing abortion, Devil War. Thank you. John says, looking forward to the next Calexit coin. It was a great idea. Thank you, John. I'll post that in the banner. Well, maybe. John says that. He says, great idea, Calexit coin. Looking forward to it. Okay, Jason. I know you got some stuff that have slipped my mind or I forgot about or I didn't do right. And Jason is always going, what? Did you remember that little thing there? I'm like, oh, yeah. The don't press this button. He's always like, yeah, you told me not to press the button that says launch nukes. Just reminding you. I mean, you've seen me. Some days, like we say in the Valley, it's a chicken without its head. So, Jason, anything at all? What's going on? What should we talk about? Devil War, I'm sorry. You are welcome to make comments. We love you, but we're not talking about abortion here. Abortion access is a California value. So, love you, brother. Not going to go anywhere. Sorry. Jason, what's going on? What are we missing? What should we talk about? Got a couple minutes. Take us away.
Yeah. First off, I'd like to point out there is something going on with your video feed. It's like glitchy as all get out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You look like you're stuck in the Matrix.
Okay, thank you for telling me.
Yeah, fun note aside, as the Bay Area Regional Coordinator for Yes California, I would like to request that anyone and everyone in the Bay, anyone and everyone with any sort of attachment or concern to the Thule elk and or our indigenous brothers and sisters, please, oh please, keep your eyes peeled, keep your ears perked on anything to do with Thule elk, the Point Reyes Thule elk most especially. There is more than likely some, I guess you could say, conflict with the ranchers, cattle ranchers over in Point Reyes area, which is literally right up against the Thule sanctuary, where, you know, one of the largest numbers of Thule elk exists. And rather than say, you know, do something reasonable, like give those elk more room so that they can continue to, you know, propagate and grow their number back, rather than do that, or maybe another reasonable thing like take some of that herd and relocate it somewhere, say, I don't know, up in Mendocino on Pomo Nation, where they have the desire and the room for it, right? But instead, the state, the government's answer is to cull a decent portion of this herd. There are a lot of folks here in Marin, where I'm at, Marin County, just north of the Golden Gate Bridge. If you're not too familiar, anytime you see in movies, you see the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's San Francisco, big city on one side, there's rolling green hills on the other side. That rolling green hills side, that's Marin. And just like 10 to 20 miles north of that hill is where those Tule elk are. It's a beautiful place. It's perfect for those elk. And again, they would rather cull a significant portion of the herd rather than take some reasonable measures like, protect the Tule that are still an at-risk species. They're not, at risk of going extinct anytime soon, but they were thought to be extinct for a while. And, miraculously, they're not. And some efforts have succeeded in trying to bring their numbers back up. But we still run into this problem where we want to do the right thing, but then it's going to maybe rub a couple people the wrong way. And so then it becomes a question of who has more money, influence, and power. And as we all know, ever since colonial era, the indigenous peoples of North America have been stripped of money, influence, and power. Therefore, our indigenous brothers and sisters need our help as, folks who have not been entirely stripped of our voice and power. We need to stand up for what's right. And, I'm not saying you have to, be the champion of indigenous nations. I'm just saying, if you're a Californian, then you probably care about our wildlife and varying species that are endemic to California, meaning they only, in the entire world, they only exist here. We should save these things. We should protect them. We should nourish and cherish them. And, as it was pointed out by Marcus, not just our Pomo brothers and sisters, but pretty much all indigenous nations, at least here in California. Anytime our brothers and sisters seek out some sort of action or even an answer to a question, they're met with opposition, massive amounts of resistance, sometimes even hostility. Very, very rarely do they ever actually get an answer, a legitimate answer to a question. And that's one reason why we realized this is a very important thing. What we did with, providing information, and that's something the state should do. It's something they should have done, and they don't, because, America. But I would like for all of us to please, if you have a bleeding heart for these animals or for our indigenous brothers and sisters, please get out there, make this issue known, help to shed light, help to bring awareness to it, so that hopefully before the Tule actually do become extinct, we might be able to solve this problem.
I want to say word up to Louis Wong. Liz Wong is a recall candidate that we made a connection with here at Yes California. We were just talking about how with the recall candidate debates, Yes California made contacts with a lot of people. Well, here's Liz Wong out of Irvine. He doesn't necessarily support our main goal, but he knows us and he's going to hang out. Julina says, thank you so much to Jason. And just to back up what Jason is saying, you know me, I try to keep a professional rep. I try not to put my ethnic heritage up front more than just to celebrate and acknowledge it. But things are bad in Mendocino County. And it's basically, from what I can tell, there is the people in authority, Fish and Game, Sheriff's Department, Mayor, the banks, and they are all Caucasians who don't really like the indigenous and don't really respect them and kind of see them as like these indigent people who can't really get with it. And that's the way it's been described to me by Julina and many of the Pomo there. They are not respected. So we had a genocide. The governor apologized for it, and the Pomo on their land today are not treated with respect by the agencies that administer that land: Sheriff's Department, Mayor's Department, School Department, Fish and Wildlife. So when you talk to them, they're saying we don't get treated like white folk up in Mendocino County. That's what they said. In fact, Julina had a personal story that it took me a few days to calm down when I heard that. You know, I try to be neutral best I can. I'm Mexican, so she said that she was talking to a sheriff one time and explaining how they had rights, and the sheriff told her, "Why don't you go back to Mexico?" In California, 2 years ago. Law enforcement official in California 2 years ago. Why don't you go back to Mexico? People in power willing to say things like that. And the reason that we did this research project was because when you talk to Julina and the Pomo, they're like, they don't get answers from these people. Like, they'll go to the Fish and Wildlife game and they go, we want to do this. And they'll just say, you can't. Well, why not? Because the law says. That's all they get. No, because it just says you can't. They don't have the law explained to them. Nobody points out the law. Nobody shows them the manuals that the law comes from. I mean, it was breathtaking to go, okay, Julina, if they're telling you that, it has to come from this report. She goes, I've never seen this before. Nobody ever explained this. And I go, yeah, when they say the law says, that's written down somewhere. And so they're supposed to show you that or cite the law. I've worked in government 19 years. When you tell the public this is the law, and sometimes government has to be harsh, and you don't get what you want, and it's just a hard no, and that happens. And I accept that, and I think that's fine. But you go, you can't do this because code XYZXX from this law in 1997, as documented in this report, says so. And you list it out. So when I'm talking to Julina, I'm like, did they ever cite the documents? Did they ever give you the specific code? And she's like, no, they just say you can't. That's illegal. Now, I wasn't there. It wasn't recorded. I can't prove that. But I believe her. And I know enough about government to know that's not how you do it, folks. That's called disenfranchising a people. And when everybody who's in the government is of one ethnic group and everybody who they're disenfranchising is of a separate ethnic group, that's called institutional expletive racism. So it's about as bad as it gets. In Mendocino County, no, they don't act like the rest of California. And yes, bad stuff happens to them all the time. They are not treated like they should be in California. And the way that many of the administration officials in Mendocino County, from what I've heard, treat them is out of line with our values and would shock the hell out of Californians if they ever knew it. Which is why I said, hey, Julina, we can't fix everything, but I could at least start getting you accurate information, and we could at least start telling your story to the wider public. We did this for Black Lives Matter in Bakersfield, and it worked. Black Lives Matter in Bakersfield, and I told Julina the story. There was a girl, 16, 18, and she was white. She wasn't even African American. And she challenged the anti-BLM group there. She goes, hey, why are you protesting? Stuff like that. They chased her around with their pickup trucks, I think 20 of them in a line. And she made a TikTok video of her being chased by 15 pickup trucks. And they called the Bakersfield PD, and she filmed the Bakersfield PD come up to her and going, I don't see a problem. Teen girl chased around town by 15 pickup trucks because she stood up for BLM, and the Bakersfield County Sheriff or Kern County Sheriff walks up and says, I don't see an issue. So she posted that to TikTok. We saw that. Yes, California and other groups in Calexit promoted the hell out of that video. That sheriff was put on temporary ban. There was an investigation, and people got arrested. So using law enforcement in Kern County did absolutely nothing. They were in on it. In fact, the news had to go outside of Kern County before public officials were held to the law. So yes, this happens in California. Not everybody gets to have California values, and sometimes it is the actual law enforcement and other administration officials enforcing non-California values on minorities today. Happened in Bakersfield, happened in Mendocino last year. I'm supposed to believe that's isolated. You know, you see a cockroach here, you see a cockroach there. You're not supposed to believe there's a nest behind the wall. Bigotry and racism exists, and we will be part of all efforts to stamp it out and bring these people to justice. All right, we got a few minutes left. Any other comments? Sorry, I just really don't like bigotry and racism in California. It bugs the hell out of me.
On a totally other note, just as chairperson for the International Outreach Committee, I'd like to just mention that the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia has restarted. Things are pretty bad over there. This is on the heels of President Joseph R. Biden saying something to the effect acknowledging the genocide of the early 1900s against the Armenians. The administration then made a multi-million-dollar arms deal with Azerbaijan and got them a whole bunch of nifty new weapons to go kill Armenians with. Armenia is an ally of the United States of America, I'd like to point out. You know, we have some of the most Armenians outside of Armenia of anywhere in the world. Enough so that when Monsieur le Président Emmanuel Macron, when he addressed the topic and the issue, and he started, you know, in his statement to name off countries in the world where Armenians live, or places in the world where Armenians live. He says, you know, something to the effect that they live in Armenia, they live in France, they live in Belgium, they live in California. He didn't say America. He said California. He put Belgium, a country, France, a country, Armenia, a country, and California, a country, all in the same statement. Totally love Monsieur Macron for that. But it was very factually accurate. We are one of the places, we as California are one of the places of the world where Armenians like to be, they feel comfortable, they feel safe, they feel welcome. And of all of the United States, most of the Armenian Americans live here in California, not in other states. I think that speaks very clearly to the fact that we are very accepting and compassionate, and most of the rest of the U.S., not so much. So when I think about, what President Biden did of, yes, we'll pander a little, we'll say a statement and get your hopes up that maybe we'll come to your aid. And then we'll go and give those people who are invading your country more arms. This says very clearly to me that there are many Californians who are at risk under the United States of America. Californians, as Californians, if you're of Armenian heritage, or you're like me and, your German roots go back far enough that Saint Arminius, who was a German monk, means a great deal, right? If you feel attached or tied to Armenia or Armenians, then you're probably not really so safe with the United States as your overlord, because though they will give you false hope, they will then turn around and sell the people trying to kill you more weapons. And it's not that they didn't need more weapons anyway. I mean, they've got Turkey giving them all the weapons they could need. So why America had to do that, I don't know. It's just, greed, money, war profit, right?
Iran.
Yeah.
It's to isolate Iran. The Azeris are part Persian, but they were more in the Russian sphere. And ever since then, Western powers have realized they can buy off the Azeris and then basically put a base right above Iran. So it's about threatening Iran and surrounding Iran, right? You have bases in Afghanistan and Iraq and Azerbaijan. You've surrounded Iran. America wants to take out Iran. So the Armenians are expendable because the bigger goal is Iran. Just like in Syria, there was a group called the Kurds, and they were said, hey, we love you. Look, our American soldiers are waving the Kurdish flag. And then when it came down to, okay, but are you really going to give them this land? Are you going to back them with having a country? No. And they were abandoned in a second. Now, everybody blames Trump for that. However, the Obama administration never said a thing about these people getting land or nation. Obama had 8 years to straighten this out or say something, and he did nothing. So it's easy to place the blame on Trump for America backing out on the Kurds, but if it was all Trump's fault, how come Obama couldn't say anything at all or start any process at all into the smallest amount recognizing these people getting a country? Because they were never going to give them one. They were expendable. Why is there a Iraqi population in California? Why is there a Vietnamese population? Why is there an El Salvadoran population? Why is there a Persian population? Because America invaded a country, it didn't go well, and these are the people they got out when they blew that country up and failed. They dumped them in California because real Americans don't want to be near these people. Why do you think we have the Monks and the Vietnamese and the El Salvadorans and the Mexicans and the Persians? Why aren't these people in Kentucky or Mississippi? Because they hate them. So America invades countries, it uses countries how it pleases, backs out, leaves people to the wolves, and then it dumps the trash of those invasions here in California, where they're far away from the main American population. Here in California, we're so dumb, we treat them as brothers and sisters and wives and husbands and fathers and teachers and principals and the next governor, because we see them as equal. Just recognize what this is. This is the USA. They use non-white peoples. They will continue to use them. They will play them, and they will turn on them in a second. They continue to do that. They've done that through many administrations, and they don't even really like these people. Facts. That's just the USA being the USA. It's not Biden. It's not Trump. It's not Obama. This is who America is. I mean, they did it to the Kurds. They're doing it to the Armenians. They did it to the Vietnamese, the El Salvadorans. This is a half-century long pattern. This is who America is.
Yeah, and in fairness, I would like to point out that while I am not a fan of Trump by any means, and I did vote for Barack Obama the first time, I didn't vote for him the second time because the thing that got my vote the first time wasn't actually done. I had figured I was going to vote green until Obama came out and said that he would end the extrajudicial torture and detainment of foreign nationals over in Guantanamo Bay. He said very clearly that he heard loud and clear that the majority of young folks in America do not agree with torture and do not want torture carried out in their name. And that if he was going to garner the young people of America's support, it would be through the statement of, I will close Guantanamo Bay. 8 years went by. Guantanamo Bay to this day continues to be open to operate, to torture people from other countries. It's literally the exact opposite of what America was built on. Literally the exact opposite of America's founding principles. Where's this trial, let alone a fair and speedy trial? They don't get one. They're not Americans, and we don't bring them to American soil. We bring them to this little naval base that, you know, we took over in Cuba. Ha ha ha.
Illegally.
Yeah, it's all just shady loopholes for shady purposes. And, you know, as much as I don't like one side, I have to acknowledge the faults of the other side. And, you know, where you said, you know, well, a lot of people blame Trump for abandoning the Kurds, but, you know, the boss before him had 8 years to say or do anything that would, like, you know, lead to further support, and he didn't.
Yeah.
And I think it just kind of says very clearly, if you're going to count on America and American government to do right by you, to help you, to maybe, you know, help save your people or your cause, it's probably not going to happen. Not unless there's billions of dollars worth in it for America. And, you know, again, back to Azerbaijan, we can see America's main, you know, just like a Fortune 500 company, America's main playing card, their number one goal is that profit margin. It's a company. It's just concerned about profit, as evidenced with Azerbaijan and so many other cases. Why wouldn't they close Guantanamo Bay? Well, if you kidnap people from other countries and you bring them here to American soil, you're actually going to be like risking some legal liability in world court, especially if you torture them. You know, anytime anyone spends their time just searching for loopholes so that they can get away with things, it says pretty clearly where their intentions lie. It says pretty clearly what their, you know, preferred methods and modus operandi might actually be.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jason. That's why we're here. All right, any last minute comments from anyone? Anybody wanted to say anything, make a comment, bring something up, ask any questions? Okay. I'm going to close the meeting. We will be having the committee meeting on Tuesday. You're welcome to do that. Oh, before I go, real quick, sorry, one last thing. I will be in LA on Tuesday going to this event. Is South LA Forging a New American Identity? It's by Zocalo Public Square. This Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. at the Mercado La Paloma on 365 Grand Street. There in downtown LA. Joe Matthews of Zocalo Public Squares is hosting it. Zocalo Public Square held the very first conference on Should California Be a Nation in 2010 with multiple scholars and Abraham Lowenthal, who wrote the book saying California loses being part of America. And Joe Matthews has written about Calexit, 15 times. So this event isn't about that, but Joe Matthews has written on Calexit. His organization has covered the idea of Calexit. So I'm going to go and watch that event. I'll also be meeting with multiple recall candidates who are also going in order to promote themselves. So if you want to see me, meet me, come on down. Zocalo Public Square this Tuesday in downtown LA. Forging a New American Identity. We'll leave it there. Thank you all for being here. And here you go.